Hey, how's everyone doing? I hope really well. We're gonna continue on with our Basics of Health course. This is class 3. If you haven't watched the previous ones, that's okay. You'll learn some great information tonight, and then you'll be able to go back and watch the other ones and get caught up on the information. But you can still learn some great things this evening, ways to improve your health. What I talk about in these classes is some of where I start working with a lot of clients. So when I start seeing a pattern that most of my clients need this, would benefit by this, it's like, all right, it's time to do a class because I could get this out to a lot more people that way, and you're not paying me one-on-one time just to repeat with you what I talked to the last client about and the last client and the last. So this is a really good place to start working on your health. I do want to make sure everyone knows, first off, I don't intend to imply that anything that we talk about is used to treat, prevent, or cure diseases. Those are words that are left to be used by the medical community, and we're about health. So what we talk about is food, and food can't have any health claims attached to it, really. I did upload an album called My Credentials. If you want to see why you should be listening from me, what schooling I've had, there's a full album on that now. I have quite a few certifications there, and I've just been informed I have my next one is in the mail, so I should be able to show it to you proudly next time, and it's my certified herbalist certification. So one thing, as we continue on talking about enzymes, is I do want to reinforce the fact that most people wait till they have a health problem before they start pursuing natural methods. And natural methods actually work really well as a way to keep yourself healthy. So the same things that you would use to get healthy, if you already have a problem, you'll actually need less of them to help keep yourself healthy. So even if you aren't having any health issues, you don't have any symptoms, you've got amazing energy, you sleep well, you could still benefit by the information that we're talking about today. So we're continuing on. Last time I had talked about a few quotes that some people have heard. One common quote is, "We are what we eat." So our food is our building blocks, our nutrition for our body. So if we're not putting in good food, then we can't expect our body to make healthy cells out of that food. It's like if you went and you bought a whole bunch of warped lumber for a house, are you really going to be able to build, straight walls and flat floors? So taking that a step further, we are what we absorb. If our body can't break down these nutrients in a form that our body can use, then it's worthless to us. We might be eating the best food in the world, but if our body can't break it down and use it, then it's not going to be helpful for us. And then we can take it one step further, that we are what our microbes eat. So there's a lot of research coming out about our microbiomes. And if you've never heard that word before, that's okay, because I've only heard it a couple years ago. But that is the term that is used to describe the bacteria that lives in us and on us. So it's this whole ecosystem of bacteria. It actually outnumbers our human cells 10-1. So not only are these little tiny bacteria, but there's 10 times more of them than there are of us, of our cells. When it comes to this bacteria and our microbiome, we want 80% of the bacteria to be healthy. We want 80% good guys, 20% bad guys. They're really important for our immune system. And there's a lot of people right now that are struggling with their immune system. They're getting sick. And that has to do with this balance that's out of balance. So for most of us, we have 80% bad guys living in us and on us, and only 20% good guys. And we need to reverse that population. Our microbiomes affects really every system in our body. So if we're having heart problems, we need to address our microbiome. If we're having hormonal issues, we need to address our microbiome. If we get sick a lot, if we have skin issues, acne, eczema, psoriasis, if we have glandular issues, adrenal fatigue, high or low thyroid, if we have respiratory struggles, if we have problems controlling our weight, blood sugar issues, those are all things that are affected by our microbiome. So we want to make sure that we're addressing the root before we're tackling the symptoms, because it doesn't do you any good to chop the head off of a dandelion if you didn't pull the root out. So thinking about, are we healthy? 89.7% of the population would describe their diet as healthy, which 2/3 of the population in America are overweight and obese. So there's a big discrepancy in what we feel like is a healthy diet and what is actually a healthy diet. And we'll get into what a healthy diet looks like in future classes. But, so what portion of the food that you eat is dead? It's denatured, it's cooked, it's processed. That's something that we really need to think about when we're thinking about how healthy our diets are. We need to be eating live, raw food, live nutrition. If not, then we're not consuming enzymes that we need to break down and digest our food. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of digestion for those of you that don't know how your food digests, how your body works that way. So it begins when we eat. Digestion begins in the mouth. And turn down my computer screen brightness. It's blinding me in this room right now. So we want to chew our food thoroughly. Mix it up with saliva. There's actually a saying that I've heard that you should drink what you eat. Now I'm going live and I didn't have this on the notes in front of me. Chew what you drink and drink what you chew. So essentially, you want to chew your food until it's liquid. And if you're drinking a liquid besides water, say for instance, you have a protein shake, you actually want to mix that up with the saliva in your mouth so that your saliva can become mixed and it can start breaking that down and digesting it for you. The saliva specifically is digesting the starches. So it starts that process. Then as the food goes into the stomach, that's where the proteins and minerals are digested and absorbed. Sorry, I had an alarm pop up on my phone. All sorts of things go wrong when you go live. We just gotta go with it. So the food goes in the stomach, and that's where hopefully we have enough, our body's producing enough hydrochloric acid, and the food's being mixed with hydrochloric acid and pepsin to break down the proteins. But if your body isn't producing enough hydrochloric acid, you might have difficulty digesting proteins. Hydrochloric acid is also necessary for killing, bad bacteria and bugs that are on the foods that we eat. So once the food has been mixed, we've already mixed it with saliva, now we've mixed it with hydrochloric acid and pepsin. It's now called chyme, CHYM. E, and the chyme then moves from the stomach to the small intestine. So if our pancreas, liver, and gallbladder are healthy enough, they're going to assist with the digestive process here. The pancreas, hi Cheryl, she just joined us live, said hi. So the pancreas is responsible for producing amylase, for digesting carbohydrates. And then the liver produces bile for digesting fats. Our gallbladder, which many people have had removed, is a storage place for bile. So if you don't have a gallbladder, you are probably not digesting fats correctly and should supplement every meal that you consume healthy fats with an enzyme called lipase. Which hopefully you're eating healthy fats at every meal because we need lots of them in our diet. Healthy fats, they're anti-inflammatory for us, lots of good heart health benefits, brain health. So we should be getting those in. But if we don't have a gallbladder, we might not be digesting them properly. And so lipase, Lipase, is going to be the one to start with there. So then this chyme, this digesting food, it's moved into our intestines and it keeps being broken down, being digested into smaller bits. So our food, we have to break it down to the little bits and pieces, the nuts and bolts of what make it up. And if we didn't have enzymes, then this process would actually not occur fast enough to sustain life. Enzymes make it happen fast enough for us to use this food. So if you frequently find that you're eating a healthy diet, but you're always feeling like you're low on energy, your food might not be being digested fast enough and broken down well enough. So I would suggest trying food enzymes first. So our digestive system, did you know that it contains that 2/3 of our bodily organs are part of our digestive tract? So that's a large part of our body, and we need to make sure that that is working correctly and supporting our health. So enzymes, so we're talking about today, they help to digest food and they do a lot of house cleaning for us. So think about you just ate dinner and normally, you go in, you clean up the pots and pans, put the plates in the dishwasher. Can you imagine if you never cleaned your kitchen after you got done cooking and you just used the same plates without washing over and over again and the pots and pans? So that's kind of what's happening in our body if we don't have enough enzymes to digest and break down our food, is that food is being hardened. You got a plate that sat out. Let's say you had spaghetti, so you got that red sauce sitting on your plate. It's going to harden there, and then the next night, you have tacos and you put that on the plate with that. Eventually, you've got all of these layers of dried food that's going to start rotting and fermenting, and things are going to smell bad. That can actually happen inside our bodies if we are not making sure that we're supporting this house cleaning process. And by taking enzymes and supplementing them, we are supporting 2/3 of our body's organs. Taking enzymes, especially ones that help break down proteins, is especially helpful for somebody with gluten sensitivities. Gluten is a protein, and so if you accidentally digest some, it can help your body break them down, and you might not have as strong of a reaction to it. I also make sure that I give my dogs enzymes. Think about, cats and dogs out in the wild. They don't sit around a little bonfire and roast their meat before they eat it. Their entire diet is raw. And most of us don't take the time to feed our pets a completely raw food diet. We like to go and get a bag of dog food or cans And that's what we feed our pets, but they need enzymes for digesting and breaking down their food as well. So I use the same plant-based enzymes that I take, and I just open up the capsule and I sprinkle it on their food before they eat that, so that they're helping to getting that digestion benefits. So enzymes make things work. They speed them up. And all of these things work together. So vitamins need minerals in order to work. Minerals don't work that well if we don't have the vitamins to support them, which is why most of us, we take a multivitamin, multimineral. They're both, normally the same capsule or tablet we swallow every day. But did you know that neither vitamins nor minerals can work for you if you don't have enzymes? So that's where we're starting at the basics. We're starting at the beginning. That nutrition that we're consuming isn't doing us any good without the enzymes. Enzymes, so that's taking a burden off of our system when we take it, giving it a little bit of a rest, giving it helpers that are helping to do the work for us. When we use enzymes, we're often going to find that we have less gas and bloating. We're going to start having proper bowel movements, which is another very foundational thing in health that we want to make sure that we're having 3 solid bowel movements a day. Then enzymes help our body detox, help us maintain proper pH balance. I'm actually taking a course right now on pH. That's very exciting. I can't wait to do some training videos on it. This course is literally blowing my mind. It's so interesting. So to remember, all of our supplements, all of our herbs, vitamins and minerals, essential fatty acids, they're all going to work better with enzymes. So enzymes also help break down something called biofilm. So a lot of us are familiar with biofilm. It's the plaque that gets on our teeth. That's a biofilm. But that can also be made elsewhere in the body. So in the same way that we brush our teeth to remove the plaque from them, enzymes are kind of like brushing the insides of our body, getting this biofilm, breaking it down. Biofilm makes a slippery environment. It's kind of mucusy. Mucus is very similar to a biofilm. So have you ever taken an antibiotic and you didn't find it effective? That's because bacteria, viruses, fungus, parasites, they can actually create a little kind of protective shell for them made out of biofilm. So the antibiotic that you took couldn't penetrate that biofilm and get in there and kill the bacteria that you were trying to kill. So even taking enzymes with antibiotics, which I shudder at the thought, I hope you realize there are some very natural antibiotic herbs that you can take that have been shown to be as if not more effective, but that again, getting off track. So taking it, if you have to take an antibiotic, if you believe that's the right thing for you to do, then take some enzymes with it and it'll be more effective. So enzymes, other wonderful things they do for us, they help improve our health by purifying the blood, strengthening our immune system, helping to deliver nutrients to our cells. They help carry away toxins. They assist in detoxification. They deliver hormones to where they need to go, help balance cholesterol and triglyceride levels, reduce inflammation, can even help assist in weight loss, and they break down these biofilms. So detoxification, I recommend that everyone do a cleanse quarterly. Cleanses aren't scary. People all ask me, because most of the cleanses I recommend, they're a 2-week program. And people are like, well, am I going to need to take 2 weeks off of work to do a cleanse? Absolutely not. They're very safe cleanses, work with your body. If you're taking a proper herbal cleanse, you should not be stuck in the bathroom while you're on it. If you are, it's probably too harsh for your body, or it's not the right cleanse for you, wasn't good ingredients. So, and then also thinking about that biofilm, the cleanse that I use the most and recommend to my clients the most for Candida actually contains enzymes in it to help break down that Candida cell wall. Cleansing's not a new thing. They've actually been cleansing and detoxifying the body since, we can see since 2500 BC. So that's, over 4,000 years people have been cleansing. It's not anything new. The Greeks actually used quite a few saline enemas. Native Americans have we carry an herbal cleansing tea that they traditionally used, herbs like cascara. But it is way more important for us to be cleansing now. There are actually over 80,000 chemicals that have been registered for use in the United States, and they come out with about 2,000 each year. So these are chemicals that they're making up, that scientists are putting together in a lab, that our body does not know what to do with. It needs help processing them because they shouldn't be ingested. And even if we're not ingesting them, we breathe them in, they get absorbed through our skin. If kids are eating Tide Pods, I don't know if you've heard about that. It's the new craze. Kids are eating Tide Pods, having horrible reactions to them. If you can't eat it, it really shouldn't go on your skin either. So that residue that's left over from washing is on your clothes. You're breathing it in. You're absorbing it through the skin. It's slowly doing that damage to you. So not only do we have more chemicals, but heavy metals are in bigger use now. A lot more pesticides, herbicides, the artificial coloring and flavorings that they're putting in our foods. We're just exposed to all of these, and we ingest them every single day. It's also, if you need more reasons to cleanse, because everyone should cleanse quarterly. It's estimated that the average American has 5 to 25 pounds of undigested fecal matter sitting inside them. And what happens is this undigested matter is sitting there, it's fermenting, it's rotting. So if you find yourself, gassy a lot, have a lot of bloating, that's because as this stuff rots and ferments, it's putting off toxic gases that your body's trying to get rid of. So this rotting matter, chemicals inside of us, they're making a really unfriendly environment for the bacteria inside of us, and this bacteria is going to try to survive. Both the good bacteria and the bad bacteria are going to try to survive this environment. So they make this biofilm for their own protection. This film makes it very difficult for our body to clean out the bacteria and yeasts and parasites that we don't want, because we can't actually get to them. The biofilm protects them from us. There's also about 2 million cases per year of infections caused by biofilm that's on implanted biomedical devices. So when we have something that's artificial that's being put into us, it actually attracts the bacteria, and this biofilm can cover it and just cause a nasty infection. So that might be something to think about if you have, something artificial or implanted inside of you. Foreign objects in the body are prone to infection. So in simple terms, biofilm isn't simple, but the way we can simplify it the most is it's a sticky protective layer that's made up mostly of proteins. So funguses, parasites, bacteria, and viruses, those are usually made up of proteins as well, and they can create this protein biofilm, this sticky mucousy layer around themselves as protection. So when we know that they're made of proteins, we learned last week what digests proteins? Protease. So, breaking them down, helping our immune system with some protease. When we take this protease between meals, because if we take it with meals, then it's going to be digesting the food that we ate. But when we take the protease between meals, then it can actually really start denaturing these pathogens and the biofilms around them. So a personal regimen that I have used for cleansing for myself, and I'll do this for about a month at a time, is I will take enzymes 5 to 6 times a day. So I'm taking them with each meal, each time that I eat, I'm taking the enzymes, but then I'm also taking them in between meals as a cleansing regimen. So I might take them first thing when I get up, and then between breakfast and lunch, and between lunch and dinner, or one of the doses might be right before I go to bed, but that way I'm getting that cleansing benefit from them. Did you also know that one of the major contributors to allergies, anybody suffer from allergies out there, is that's actually caused by abnormal or undigested proteins in the blood. They've been doing a lot of studies on nattokinase. That's another enzyme that's been shown in studies to be a really good blood cleanser. I do want to encourage you, if you have allergies, you don't have to. If you have food or seasonal allergies, enzymes are a great place to start for getting over them. It might take a little bit more work besides just the enzymes, but that's a really good place to start clearing your blood of these undigested proteins causing this allergic response. So, this biofilm, it's helping these pathogens pass nutrients back and forth from each other, sheltering them from toxins, sheltering them from antibiotics, and also protecting them from our own immune system. So with this biofilm, we can't really get to them to clear them out. Now, another problem is that some of this biofilm, which is made up of protein, might also contain cellulase. So not to be confused with cellulose. I'm sorry, it's cellulose because cellulase is the enzyme. So they're made up of proteins and cellulose, not to be confused with cellulite. Cellulose is that insoluble substance that makes up a plant's cell wall. And when biofilm is made with both protein and cellulose, it can actually make that biofilm strong enough to become fossilized. Can you imagine trying to eat a fossil and expecting your body to digest it? That's actually happening inside your body. So not only am I going to take a high protease enzyme in between meals, but I'm going to add in a plant-based one that contains cellulase to digest the cellulose. And I'm moving on from these tongue twisters now. More tongue twisters. Neurology magazine published a study showing that there's enzymes that can clear away misfolded proteins in the nerves, which is one of the hallmarks, one of the things that starts Alzheimer's disease. So when we can stop the protein buildup in the brain, we may be able to slow or stop the advancement of Alzheimer's disease. So far, we don't know if it's actually reversible, but being able to slow it down. So thinking back to proteins, we have a hard time digesting them as a society more and more. And my opinion is that's because we're not eating a healthy enough diet to support hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is essential for digesting proteins. And if you didn't know, the most common cause of heartburn is actually not enough hydrochloric acid. It's low stomach acid. However, the most common remedy for heartburn is to take an acid reducer. So we have low stomach acid, that we're actually going to reduce even further to get rid of the symptom of heartburn. But we are just further reducing the body's ability to break down proteins because of these acid reducers. So then we're more prone, to candida and allergens and fermenting protein in our stomach. So we want to make sure we're taking a full spectrum enzyme blend, which we talked about last time. Protease breaks down proteins, lipase breaks down fats, amylase breaks down starches, cellulase breaks down cellulose. So we want a nice full spectrum enzyme blend that's going to break down a lot of things. And again, if you are missing your gallbladder, you will probably want to add extra lipase to that blend. It probably won't have enough. And I want to encourage you to get enough healthy fats into your diet. So protease is a great cleanser. It's helpful for digesting this protein and helpful for digesting the biofilm on yeast, bacteria, viruses. If you find that you're someone that takes a lot of supplements, you've got to swallow handfuls of them multiple times a day, they're not doing as much as you thought that they would for you, I would highly recommend adding some enzymes to that. Your body's probably having a hard time breaking down and utilizing both your food and the supplements that you're taking. If we're eating a large meal, that puts even more strain on the body. So we should be taking extra enzymes with that. Think about the holidays when we fill our plates and eat as much as we can, and then an hour later we go back for seconds. Like, we should be taking plenty of enzymes. That's a big strain on our body. Digestion is actually one of the hardest work that our body has to do. Anyone out there have chronic sinus problems? So mucus, which is, when we have a sinus problem, we're all congested, it's all mucousy up there, is actually very similar to biofilm. And 80% of chronic sinusitis sufferers have been shown to have this biofilm present as well. So I would recommend taking some protease in between meals, help clear that out, help your body keep your sinuses clear. Enzymes are also antioxidants. When you hear that word, you should think anti-aging. They're kind of synonymous. So here's a really interesting quote for you. In the Scientist magazine, Dr. David Sinclair of Harvard Medical School said, "There is proof the catalase enzyme prevents free radical damage and can extend our lifespan. Because of its free radical fighting ability, it may also help in the war against other degenerative diseases." So if you needed more encouragement to take enzymes, there you go, straight from Harvard. So just a recap of some things that I want you to remember from today is that our digestive system includes 2/3 of our bodily organs. It's a really big part of our body. And that denatured foods, which means it's cooked, it's processed, it's dead, is slowly killing us. Supplementing with enzymes, you can think about that as cheap health insurance. It's going to improve your existing supplement plan, and it can help clear stubborn health issues. So again, start with enzymes. They're going to make a lot of difference. Can you take too many? First off, plant enzymes have been classified as food by the FDA, and a standard size capsule contains about 1/4 teaspoon. So when I'm taking 2 at each meal, that's only 1/2 teaspoon. That's not a lot of anything. For a serious cleansing regime that I do, I'm taking up to 12 capsules of these a day. I do have my gallbladder, so if you don't, then I would be recommending up to 15 capsules a day because we need to add in those 3 capsules of the lipase with your meals. And there has not been one report of side effects from taking food enzymes. Now, food enzymes, they're not magic. You're probably not going to notice a difference overnight. All of those, some people that really need them do, especially like a heartburn sufferer, and you start taking an enzyme blend that also includes hydrochloric acid and pepsin. You might notice that just within that first meal that you took enzymes with, that you don't have heartburn with it. But just long term, they are essential, which means that we have to consume them. We have to get them, supplement with them. And they're going to be beneficial to your long term health. It's so much easier. So, natural health is all about prevention. One of the quotes, big quotes in natural health, may you never know the disease you prevent. So it's a lot easier to stay healthy than it is to get healthy once we've lost our health. So, who's ready to start on some enzymes? I've been taking them regularly, consistently for several months now. And I really kind of hate it when I forget them because I notice that my food's not digesting as well. I actually feel more sluggish. My stomach feels heavier when I forget the enzymes. And I do notice a bit more gas, like I'm prone to like just little burps that aren't there when I take the enzymes. So I would much rather take them. If you have friends who are interested in learning how to improve their health, you are more than welcome to invite them to this group. You can share it with them in a private message. Let them know that there's some free health education on here. Also tell them if you are already a Nature Sunshine member, because if they decide to purchase something from watching one of my classes, we want to make sure that you are the one that gets credit for it. So they're going to make sure that they have you as their sponsor and not me. This is video 3 in my Basics of Health series. This is the second one I've done on enzymes. If you haven't watched the first 2, I do recommend going back, watching them. You can find all of the videos that I've posted in this group under the video tabs as well. There's one on lavender essential oil. I'll be doing peppermint next week. There's also a really great one on an herbal back adjustment for those of you with back pain, neck pain. It's a really amazing tool to have. And if you enjoy these videos, then please support me and my efforts to put them out there and educate you by purchasing through my affiliate links. I can't emphasize how amazing Nature Sunshine products are. If you live in the Staten area, I am available for private consultations. I also do online consultations, so wherever you are, I can help you get started on your path to good health. You can book me online and also follow these blogs on my website, wheretostartnaturalhealth.com. So thanks for watching. Drop me a comment with what you found most helpful from this video. And I look forward to reading it and engaging with you. And let me know what you would like more classes on. Have a blessed evening, everyone. We'll see you soon.